to lead with this.
What?
Dance with Me?
Yes.
Dude, that soundtrack, like I did take dance lessons after that.
Did you
that
really?
movie and that yes, it inspired me so much. And that soundtrack, like I'm a soundtrack person.
Yeah.
It is one of my favorites of all time.
Good.
I mean, hello. That's such a sexy
That was
movie.
back in 1998.
Girl, I know.
And
I was rocking to that in high school. I love that.
Yeah,
yes.
Cheyenne was my co-star, and I learned how to ballroom dance to play an instructor for that show. So it was amazing. I did like 2 months of training, and then I had to compete with dancers that had done this for their lives.
Yes.
You know?
So wait, I hear that, speaking of Olympics, we were speaking of it earlier, and I have to say, like, I think it's weird that ballroom dancing isn't one of the sports in it, because now they have, is it break? They call it break, right? Breaking?
Do they?
Yeah, which I think breaking, okay, it's a form of dance. Like, why isn't
Well,
ballroom?
after I finished...
It's hard.
I know, and after I finished training and doing the movie, back in '97, actually, when we actually shot it, Rick Valenzuela, who was my partner who trained me, said he wanted me to do the Olympics with him because they were going to have it as a sport. It never happened.
I know, it should be,
But I would have done
though.
it, though. Are you kidding me?
It should be. Those people, that is hard.
It's hard.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, you know it.
Yeah.
You train.
I mean, I'm a dancer, but, like, I'm not that kind of dancer, girl. I just like moving. But, like, I'm trained, like, vocally, though, and even that's hard. That's a very strict thing
keep it up.
to be.
Well, I did wear red, white, and blue. So Team USA.
Team USA. Team USA. Well, we're speaking of the Olympics right now, and, like, what's, like, your favorite sport to watch? What can you not miss?
I love track and field. It's amazing, exciting. I love swimming, diving. I love equestrian.
Yeah.
Gorgeous
like dressage.
Yeah, gorgeous to watch.
Yeah.
I love it all.
Yeah.
And to be in Paris, why not?
With the equestrian stuff, I'm always like, why? I mean, yes, for the person on the horse, but also the horse.
The horse is amazing.
The horse is killing it, just if we're being honest. Yeah, the horse is doing amazing. It's dancing. I'm like, that's incredible to me.
But it's all with your leg.
I know, they guide, I know, I learned a little about that world, and I'm like, ooh, that's hard.
It is hard.
I'm out. Yeah, so wait, you've been in England all summer, right? Do you love England?
We are in Plymouth, and we opened Devil Wears Prada down in Plymouth, which is like the southwestern part of England. Beautiful, by the water, the countryside.
I love it
and
there.
it's lovely. So this is kind of our out of town. You know, when you're doing Broadway, Chicago is usually out of town. You get the show in good shape, and then you move to Broadway. So in the West End, Plymouth is one of the out of towns. So we're just figuring it all out. But it's amazing. I mean, Jerry Mitchell is our director, choreographer, and Elton John wrote the music, so not too shabby. I mean,
oh my God.
So it's
do you get excited to play that role?
I get excited. I am honored because I grew up, you know, listening to Elton John on my little transistor radio on my windowsill with my 2 antennas and listening to Benny and the Jets and Yellow Brick Road. I mean, that was my childhood. Yeah. So to be able to work with him and have him write new songs that I get a chance to sing for him is pretty epic. You get to be the
vessel for it? Yeah, that's incredible.
The script is very much based on the movie. So you see all the aspects, but it's also amplified with the music. You know, for instance, when she is in the second act, and they're doing their fashion show, and everyone thinks that she's on the outs. And, you know, she basically is at a fashion show with glasses on, and she's like, you think that I can't see you? Smugly sitting there with glee, eager for the ending you've been waiting years to see. Today she's getting ousted yet. Her final hour's nigh. Miranda's reign, it's run its course. That's what you think. Oh, my. And then it goes into this whole banger. So it's a great mixture of really good acting, but also this music that takes the transition from the words and brings it to musical theater, but it's also pop, too, because Elton's background. So there's going to be remixes on the radio from The Devil Wears Prada because he knows what works in both genres.
He would know.
He would know.
Their new single is called Legs Keep Dancing. You can find it wherever you get your music. Let's talk about the new single. First of all, nobody looks like that. I'm like, what in the world? It's so annoying. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, no, you look so great in it. You look like you feel great in it. Like I know I'm the kind of artist, I don't put something out unless it's like I'm inspired by something in my life or I just feel like doing it. So why right now?
Well, I'm 61 and I was like, I'm not, you know. But it's all like, don't count me in.
You're 61. Shut up. Like, what? I'm 42 and you will not see that album cover. I'm like, what? It's amazing.
Yeah, I just had, I remember watching Diane Carroll on Oprah back in the day, and her memoir was called The Legs Are the Last to Go, and she looked fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I aspire to be, someone who's vibrant at that age, who can proclaim their age and still be in the game.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, we have so much to say when we talked about what you want to say in your music, and I haven't finished writing that chapter.
Yeah.
So this was a great first single.
Because we're ever changing,
We're ever changing, and we have so much more to give. So that's where it came from.
It's fun. I love this song. And there's a whole album, right, coming out, right?
Album comes out in August.
Yeah.
And I literally went to, I have a couple of new writers, but I went to my old team, Kipper Jones, who wrote Comfort Zone and Right Stuff back in 1988.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm in the studio, flying in. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so your parents, you say your parents inspired
both music
music.
teachers.
Yeah, I was getting both teachers,
Public school, My dad was the band teacher.
Well. Yeah.
And my mom was a choral teacher. Not in the same school, they would have killed themselves. But but my dad was in Elmsford and Westchester. My mom was in Ossining. So same county, different schools. All right, Westchester.
Yes.
So
you probably had music going on all the time in your household.
All the time. My parents taught, so my mom would teach piano downstairs. My dad was upstairs on, clarinet or trumpet or sax or something. So, trying to get some homework done in my room with 2 lessons going on was quite the task.
Oh, my God.
But I grew up always having music around me, and didn't think that I was going to be, a professional musician. I wanted to be a dancer. But then when I started doing musical theater and I was singing and dancing and acting all at the same time, I was like, that's what I want to do. And
it's rare. Like, I don't feel like a lot of people really kill all those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people don't, like, no shade. I just mean, like, a lot of people are, like, usually excel at one thing, but you happen to be one of those people that's incredible at all of them.
But I grew up in New York, so, growing up in Westchester and taking the train in to see whatever show it was, I remember seeing Stephanie Mills in The Wiz the first time it came out, and, like, I was 12, she was 13, 14. I'm like, that's exciting. She's doing it all, creating a character, singing her heart out, and just having so much fun on stage.
Yeah.
So I knew that musical theater was just an audition away from me. All I needed to take the train and have a good audition. I would be able to have that as a life.
Yeah.
But being on the radio, being in film, being in television, those are all just like cherries on top of this amazing Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. It is funny how you mention that, because you growing up in NYC kind of obviously inspired you and affected you. Even with my kids moving here, they've always been like very musical and artistic. They're very much those kids. But God, there's a play a night at my house. Like, it's like they're like, since we moved here and they go see shows and you're just kind of immersed in this like culture. So it does affect them. And then,
and there's so much variety.
Yeah.
It's not just opera. It's not just musical theater.
There's
it's everything.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
so you speak out for communities in need of support, which I find important. We get a spotlight, you might as well share it. So what inspires that, do you think?
I think growing up in New York and being open to everything and every culture and every style of life.
Yeah.
And being able to be a mouthpiece for it. I don't know why it's so, when people, ask me, like, why do you speak up for LGBTQ people? It's like, why not?
Yeah.
Why is it a question?
Yeah.
So, and also being in this business, I mean, I've been dancing my whole life. I've seen so many different people that
I think that's a blessing, because I also have been in a world where everybody's like, oh, we should be more inclusive. I'm like, I did grow up inclusive. Like, even in a small town, there were so many different, like, types of people, even cultures. Like, there was just, I love that I grew up, and I think it's because I grew up in an artistic little community in my community.
That was welcoming. And
so it was always so natural and like, why not?
Exactly.
Like, to me, but I think that's a blessing that the arts kind of, even if my kids don't go into the arts, I think being exposed to that and being in that world is helpful as a human, like just progression.
Absolutely, amen for that.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
You have, speaking of little ones, you have a new grandson, right?
I do have a grandson. He's 2. He's amazing.
Is this so fun?
Oh
my God! I just want to squish the booty. It's so cute.
Yeah, he comes and visits on the weekends because he lives in the city. So he's, used to, the sidewalks. But then I pick him up in my truck. I literally have his car seat. I don't even take it out. It's just there.
Yeah.
I roll up. I'm outside. He gets in, and then he knows as soon as he gets off the highway, he sees the trees, and he gets really excited. And then he's got I've got about 5 acres of land in Westchester, and he's got all that to play with, and he loves it.
That's wonderful to have around here.
Yeah. I'm just having such a good time.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and he's very musical too.
Little booty in the picture. Oh my God, love it. All right, let's take a quick break. Again, Vanessa's new single is Legs. Keep dancing. Look for it wherever you get your music.